Hey Summit, we are going to go through a PowerPoint presentation and you'll be prompted to answer some questions at the same time. Just going over the rules and expectations for PE for this year. We realize some things have changed due to the COVID-19 restrictions, and we just want to review some things and make sure that everybody is up to speed. Before class procedures, as you come into the gym, go to your squad and have a seat with everything you have with you. You'll be released to the locker room, one squad at a time, for you to get changed. We talked about it in class. You're going to place your items on the bench in the front section of the locker room, change your clothes for class, and then return to your squads. Laptops will need to go into the cart before going into the locker room, unless we're going to use them for class, and then we may have you just leave them there at your squads. If you need a water bottle for class, be sure and bring that with you out from the locker room. Masks must be worn into the gym and they must be worn exiting the gym, but as long as you are in your squad, you may remove your mask. You'll need to get dressed quickly for class. Your Summit PE shirt, shorts, tennis shoes, and make sure we are changing for class. We don't want to just put on our gym clothes over the clothes we wore to school. If you are using a loaner shirt, let me know and I can make those accessible to you. We will take attendance when the bell rings. Students not in their squads or in the Zoom meeting may be marked tardy. We're going to lock the locker room when we are not in there, so the locker room will be locked for the duration of the period after the last squad is dressed. That way everything in there is secure. Again, make sure that you are changing for class, for your hygiene, for your safety, the safety of your classmates, and also the safety of the facility. We encourage you to bring deodorant to school, no sprays, just due to the ventilation in the locker room, but deodorant is always encouraged, and again, you need to change for class. Classroom expectations. You're expected to adhere to and demonstrate all of our SOAR principles in physical education. Each expectation will be detailed in the following slides. And there's our friend Master Yoda telling us, SOAR you must. Be safe, organized, accountable, and respectful. In order to be safe in class, students will be in the gym before the bell rings. Students attending real-time at home will need to be logged into the Zoom class session within 5 minutes of the bell. So, for example, we talked about today, if block 2 typically begins at 8 o'clock, if block 1 begins at 8 o'clock, students need to be logged into the Zoom meeting no later than 8:05. We'll release you in small groups to the locker room, again to promote social distancing. All of your items will go in the assigned areas, and keep your hands on your own things. Do not touch other people's items, especially since we are not utilizing lockers at this time. In order to be organized, you need to change your clothes for class and be prepared for activity. Be prepared for class outside. If you would like to bring a sweatshirt, a different pair of shoes, whatever you need, make sure you have that with you when you arrive for class. If you choose not to dress for class, the first incident is a warning. The second will result in apparent contact. The third could result in a after-school detention or a lunchtime assignment room detention. The fourth results in a discipline referral. Written assignments need to be turned in on time. There is a due date in every assignment that goes onto Canvas. They need to be completed on time. For students to be accountable, you should ask for clarification when you don't understand. As I've explained, everything we do in PE, there is a reason for it. So if you don't understand something or need further clarification, just let us know. Students need to inform the teacher when they have an injury or a concern. Okay, if you're unable to participate, If you bring in a note from a parent, that is good for 1 day of being excused. If it's going to be any more than 1 day, your teacher will require a note from a doctor. Students are accountable for their own items, dress, and behavior. Okay, you are responsible for keeping track of your own items. You are responsible for bringing your PE clothes to school, and you solely are responsible for your behavior. In order to be respectful in class, students should be respectful of one another in speech and behavior. As we've talked about, we are all facing some different challenges with the restrictions this year, and we need to all get through them together. It is important that students are aware of and respond to verbal cues. When you are asked to do something or when you are given a direction, it is important that you follow those directions. Students will follow given directions in a reasonable amount of time. For example, when we ask you to go to your squad, that means you head to your squad. That doesn't mean you take 7 imaginary basketball shots, jog 2 laps around the gym, go and talk to your friend, and then go to your squad. When you're asked to do something, you need to complete that task in a reasonable amount of time. If there's something you do not understand, you'll need to ask. And we will recognize and respect the differences within classmates. We all have to get along. We all have to work together. They don't have to be your best friend, but you have to be respectful and you have to be kind. Grading in physical education is based on total points. Each week or each unit, depending on where we are, will result in a summative score. The biggest portion of that summative score will be your performance, attitude, and effort during the week. You may also receive formative scores. The formative scores do not count towards your final grade, either your semester or 6-week grade. But the formative scores do serve as a form of communication to let you know where your performance is in class. Written assignments, projects, and quizzes will also be in the summative grades section. They will be summative assessments and will count towards the final grades. Again, those need to be turned in on time and completed when asked. Quizzes, we'll have quizzes on a few of the units. They'll be based on game rules, a little bit of history, and sometimes some strategy. We will utilize mastery learning, so there will be a teaching period, and then there will be a evaluation. If you achieve mastery on that first evaluation, you will have some enrichment activities. If you do not, we will do some further teaching and then attempt the test again. The evaluation rubric is under Files on Canvas. If you want to know why you scored what you did on a particular formative score, feel free to look at that rubric. It defines what is required to achieve each level, to achieve each score. Zoom expectations in the event that we go to an all virtual session or students who are utilizing Zoom for real-time instruction, you need to be in the class within the first 5 minutes of the bell. So like I said, if class begins at 8 o'clock, you need to be in the Zoom session by 8:05. When you are in the Zoom session, you need to be dressed and ready for activity. You wouldn't show up for PE in a tuxedo. Please don't show up for your Zoom meetings in one either. Sometimes you'll be given an assignment and allowed to exit the Zoom meeting. Other times you will participate along with the class in the Zoom meeting. Class sessions may last the entire period in Zoom. So if you come into a Zoom meeting, it may last the full 83 minutes. Students will have microphones muted and the camera on when present in a Zoom class period. Okay, I need to be able to see you, but we don't want to experience any feedback or any background noise. If you're asked a question or need to respond, you can unmute your microphone, and then after you've answered the question, please mute it again. Real-time Zoom students, when we are in class, the Zoom students may be required to submit a small assignment or a checkpoint just to let us know that you are participating and doing what is asked. These are things that I can observe with in-class students, but as Zoom students, we do face some challenges. Due dates will be the same, whether you are an in-person student or a real-time Zoom student. If it is assigned on a Wednesday and it is due on a Friday, it is due for every student on that Friday. Thank you for taking time to watch the video. If you have any questions, again, feel free to ask Mr. Veith. And we look forward to a great year. Thank you.